How are you doing, guys? ZDEyE here. So today I wanted to talk about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Now, before I do progress, I wanted to mention that at first I was very hesitant about this game, right? I saw a couple of trailers, a little bits of pieces of the gameplay. I was not really sold on the game. That's my honest truth about it. Now, I'm not gonna deny that I am still going to be picking up this game, but after seeing this brand new gameplay that you guys seeing it as well, this actually got me a little bit more hyped up. Well, maybe even I should say not hyped up, more excited for the game. It's not like I'm completely sold on this game, but everything as I have seen so far just screams all the positivity in mind, and I just simply want to get my hands on it. We actually got to learn so many new bits of information regarding this gameplay, and obviously you should know this already. This is not being played by anyone, or I should mention that this is played by one of the developers of the game, so that's how they publish the gameplay footage for the rest of the people and for the public to be used and to see. Now, yeah, you might consider like saying, for example, in front of you, oh, this seems too easy, this seems too standard, what is this? It doesn't seem like, a little tougher challenges in there. No, but there is going to be different challenges and difficulties that you can wrap things up, or if that is, of course, if you want to make it difficult, or if you want to make it easy, you do have that option. I will get into that a little bit later on. I wanted to mention that, for example, that there are going to be already talked about the planets, such as the Kashyyyk, hopefully I'm not butchering the name, and there's also an icy planet called Zepho, and there's also a desolated planet called Dathomir. Dathomir, hopefully I'm butchering the name again. And yeah, that's where you'll find those Night Sisters from the Star Wars. Now, just to mention as well, it seems like while you are going to be transitioning through these between the planets to planets with the light speed sequences, you are able to wait and while your allies talk and comment on the planet that you're going to be going towards too. There's also quite a few bullet points I'm going to get into, such as like a cutscene shows the main character looking at the recording of the Obi-Wan warning Jedi about the clone uprising as well. Some kind of a little bit lower right there, guys, for you as well. There are going to be some force echoes scattered throughout the environment. Finding these gives you a little bit of a tidbits of the story, while also awarding some of the XP that you would require. And on the planet called Kashyyyk, you will be able to actually battle a Ninth Sister as a member of Inquisitors, a group of the introduced in the Star Wars Rebels. Also, should mention that, for example, regarding the combat in the that you will be able to pull off, and such as that you're seeing as well. Now, obviously, there's going to be a huge emphasis on the parrying as such, right? You can deflect blaster shots back at the enemies with parries, or instantly deplete any of the enemy's stagger bar. Force moves use up a force meter on the bottom of the screen, you can see. You restore this meter by hitting the enemies with attacks, encouraging you to be a little bit more aggressive. Now, the another bullet point I should mention that both you and the enemies have a stagger meter, or a bar, right? When depleted, it opens you or the enemy for an upcoming attack. Now, I should mention that like holding down a guard button, it's an LB on the Xbox, just so you know, will let you block most of the attacks. But attacks where the enemies glow red, like a very bright red, they are actually going to be unblockable. And also, this is nothing really new. We kind of seen this already in Dark Souls and as such, and also the Sekiro. I should mention that pressing the jump button in the combat will let you execute a dodging flip. This is essential to avoid attacks that cause shockwaves along the grounds and such. Right, maybe there will be bigger enemies that will be able to pull that off. I should mention that you guys already know this, right? Basic enemies are super weak, right? They go down by like 1 or 3 hits, that depends of course, but they can be very dangerous if they group up on you. I wanted to mention regarding of the upcoming fight that you will see is the ATST, as that is functions at the end of the world boss. You can damage the ATST by striking its legs, reflecting the blast fires, or force pushing the grenades that it launches them back. So when he shoots at you with its own grenades, again, force launch those grenades back at him, and you'll do a self-damage sort of say, right, to that robot, whatever, the ATST basically. Now, also I should mention that when you will be jumping down on the enemy from the above, there's going to be a button prompting will appear, letting you to use a hugely damaging and sort of an assassination type of the attack. There's going to be 4 difficulty modes. I should definitely mention, and I kind of already gotten into it a little bit. Number 1 is story, that's the easy one, and number 2 is Jedi Knight. The second one, Jedi Master, is quite a hard one, and a Jedi Grandmaster, more or less like a master difficulty, like insane difficulty. Now, here's the Dark Soul vibe that perhaps a lot of you might encounter with. Like, for example, when you die in this game, you will lose all of the XP that you've had. But if you attack the enemy that has killed you, you'll regain all of your XP and health. Just so you know as well, that you don't actually have to kill an enemy, simply land one attack on them. I wanted to touch on a little bit on this part. I seriously think they need to reconsider this. I think you need to kill that specific enemy. Now, don't get me wrong. What if a boss would do this to you? Fuck him. Fuck it. Be more punishing. I don't care. Like, who cares? Like, personally for me, I'm looking for a vibe of Dark Souls. I want to be more punishing. Don't get me wrong. It's already there. The insane difficulty is such as that I have mentioned. The Jedi Grandmaster difficulty. That's the hardest as it seems it's going to be. I'm definitely going to be playing on first go on Jedi Grandmaster. It's for real. I don't think this game is going to be as hard as Sekiro. I really doubt that. But as when you die and you only need to land one hit on the enemy to regain it, I don't think it's a good way to go about it. I actually think you need to kill that specific enemy, even if it's a boss. Seriously, if you die again and you don't actually kill the boss, well, then you lost all that XP and such. Maybe that's a little bit brutal, but I actually would rather that. That's just my Dark Souls thoughts coming in here. Should mention that the Ninth Sister, the battle that you will be able to see at the very end, near the end of the gameplay, also will be down much later in the game. That also gives you as an access to the saber throwing and also the force pulling. And the other rest of the stuff is like about the gameplay details, such as like the force echoes I've mentioned a little bit, are actually like collectibles you can find and increase your overall force energy. Collecting 3 increases your force, just so you know. Exploration, right, is a huge focus, as you can see it here as well, with tons of the alternative pathways and hidden items, of course. Now, should mention that when you press the view button, right, you can bring up a detailed holomap. This shows you pathways that are blocked or open based on your powers, different elevations, and of course much more. Also, resting at the save point, as called the meditation sort of a spot, will completely restore your health and stim. Stim meaning that basically you can use it to replenish your health for later, but also will be respawning all of the enemies that the ones that you have even killed, just like Dark Souls. BD1, so you know, can scan both enemies and items to give you a database entries and of course the XP. The other bullet point each time that I should mention that your XP gauge fills, you get 1 skill point, and which you can use at the save point to unlock abilities, including health boosts, new combos, and more. Unfortunately, we again did not get an opportunity of seeing such as things like this. Maybe we'll see them much later down the line. And I want to mention that more abilities such as maybe you will be able to unlock and learn new force powers. For example, 3 new branches of the skill tree unlocked when you get a force push, as an example. You can find items in the world that boost your max number of stim and of course healings as well. And just so you know, again, stim is the healing. You can completely customize your lightsaber color and hilt, with new items mostly found in the chests scattered through the world. Some of these chests can't be opened until you upgrade the BD1, so your android, your little buddy droid. BD, that's what it stands for if you guys did not know. BD, buddy droid. You can open shortcuts in the environments that make it easier to get back to the save point or other areas. I should mention that some areas seem to have unique gimmicks, like one of the courtyard that had blasts of air during the battle, letting you, for example, to jump up and higher elevations or to the enemies. And should mention that again, you guys seen this already, like secret walls and all that. Use your push, force push, and you will be able to open up new paths. You can collect the plants to put into the terrarium of the brought to your ship as well. So a bit of collecting on that part there is. Now, these are the bullet points that's been specified from the people that I had an opportunity of actually getting their hands on experience with this game, and also that they knew things that have been spotted as well from this new gameplay. Now, that's, the new things has been summarized. I did not specifically mention the old things because I'm sure you guys already might know it. That is, of course, if you are looking forward towards this game and if you are going to be interested in picking it up. I should mention that there is going to be color variations and different customizations on your own character. So there is going to be some kind of customization degree. Not to the fullest like you would expect, but yes, you would definitely be looking forward to a few things, like, as I already mentioned, like a lightsaber. Make a purple lightsaber, you know it. I wanted to also touch on regarding that from this gameplay that you guys are watching right now as well. It really does look fantastic, especially when you be able, well, I hope anyway, you will be able to play 60 FPS on the consoles with this game. I'm all down for that. And again, I already have mentioned it once, but I'm gonna mention it a second time. I'm definitely be playing this game on the hardest difficulty that there is. And again, guys, the gameplay that you're watching, I have to mention it again. This is just a normal difficulty, if not even seems like more of an easy difficulty. And there wasn't any clarifications of what will be an increasing amount of the difficulty when you tune it up, say from standard to an extreme as an example, right? Will it mean that there's going to be more enemies in the environment? Will it mean that the enemies are going to be far harder to kill and they will be able to kill you as far easier? I don't really know, and there wasn't much of the specifications on that, unfortunately. And I definitely want to mention the other things and bits of information, for example, that you will not be able to pause this game. This is going to be, if you even try to pause the game as an example, the enemies around the world are still going to be moving, and I think that's a big minus. I think it's a big bullshit. This game does not have any online components or the capabilities as such, right? I don't understand what's the point of that. Again, I really think that's just not good in my personal opinion. I would rather this game have a pause button as an example. Well, that's of course a subjective thing to say on my regard, since that my personal life doesn't exactly this is the reason why I can't exactly live stream on my channel and all that so often as such, because there are different circumstances I have to do in my own private life and stuff, right? Occasionally I need to go somewhere and then I can't just simply pause the game. What the hell? So I have to find this meditation spot, save the game and progress, and so I don't lose it after. But it would have been much easier, such as say Sekiro, pause the game at that very moment, come back a little bit later, continue where I left it off. I personally didn't really like this in Dark Souls, since there really is no pause, there's no pause capabilities either. But I mean, we can always think of ways how to approach this. Unfortunately, it seems like if you are about to die, but you can't because you need to go somewhere, well, then good luck to you. Looks like you are going to die. But yeah, that's going to be interesting to be facing the bosses, and yet it's like takes a dedication and time, like 10 minutes, let's say you need to kill this one damn boss. And then after you're about to kill that boss, but you need to suddenly go somewhere. And you just can't just put down the control because you can't pause the damn game, and yet oh, well, I guess I'm going to have to die. Fuck. Well, I don't know, that's just my personal life. I'm sure a lot of you guys might be in a similar road as me, but I know that a lot of other people as well don't really mind this feature not being implemented into this game. But again, I really don't see why this game would not have a pause button properly. Maybe there's going to be some kind of changes up to the release of this game. That would be a far better option in my personal opinion, but again, it still is just an opinionated thought I wanted to mention. Now, this is going to be an interesting look for this game and how it will turn out to be. We know that it's going to be coming out November 15th. This game does seem like it has a lot riding up for the EA, especially since they are the publishers, even though Respawn Entertainment They are somewhat of a trustworthy company. Well, the developers anyway is a studio, and since like they've produced such as like Titanfall 2, made, and also the Apex Legends. Even though Apex Legends as it goes more of a pay to win elements in there, and EA still has their disgusting little fingers in those games, unfortunately. The Titanfall 2 is one of them as well, if believe it or not, even though they're fantastic too. These games are simply bloody fantastic. And if that's the case, if they're gonna be messing up the damn game later on as such, well, at least I had my fun with this game for sure. And that's of course if we are if I'm thinking about EA putting their dirty damn fucking fingers into this game, because I really don't want them to be any part of this damn game. Well, yeah. This is gonna be exciting. I personally cannot wait. I definitely am looking for more of the Dark Souls-esque experiences. This is throughout a Dark Souls-esque experience for sure. If you're gonna tell me something otherwise, if you tell me this is nothing like it, what? Like, for example, meditation, going to that spot and you need to save the game, and down there you actually upgrade your skills and upgrades. How's this not Dark Souls again? Interesting. And yeah, I mean, that's not a bad thing. Like I said, I really want Dark Souls-esque experiences in my life. That's awesome. I personally think so. I really do. Well, do apologize again as well if you guys, maybe not even watching till this point, but do please tell me down in the comments, hashtag made it to the end. I would love to see who has made it till this far of the video. It's already been going for almost like 16-17 minutes length. And I just wanted to share this thoughts, my opinion about this game. It seems like it's going to be an exciting ride, and I personally cannot wait to get my hands on it. Oh man, we're gonna be having a very heavy, a lot of titles coming out, such as like the Outer Worlds on the 25th of this month, and as such, Red Dead Redemption 2 on October 5th, October 8th, the Death Stranding, and now November the 5th, Red Dead Redemption 2, November the 8th, Death Stranding, and November the 15th, the Star Wars game, the Jedi Fallen Order. Wow, okay. Thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe, and see you guys all later, and as always, have a good one.